Alright, and welcome to episode 6 of my What is Hitman Roulette series. Today we're going to be talking about the first of the Big 5 maps, Colorado. Now, as far as the Big 5 term is concerned, that is specifically tailored to maps that have more than 2 targets. It doesn't necessarily mean the map is exactly a huge map. It just means that there's more than 2 targets involved. There are 5 maps in the trilogy, currently as of the making of this video, that have more than 2 targets in them, and so I consider them the Big 5. Colorado is the first one. Of course, right now, IO Interactive is making more maps for the trilogy, so we could be looking at future Big 5 maps and making it the Big 6 or the Big 7. Who knows what happens. But for now, it's the Big 5, and I'm excited to be talking about it. Colorado is a really sick map. I have a total blast with this one, just because I'm just a big fan of the Big 5 maps in general. I really enjoy them. I would take the Big 5 maps over pretty much any other map most of the time, just because I enjoy more targets, and I enjoy the challenge that more targets presents over just having a map with 1 or 2 targets in it. That all being said, Colorado is pretty limited in terms of a lot of different things. Starting locations, target isolations, all that stuff. It's pretty interesting. Even the amount of disguises in this map is pretty lackluster considering it's such a big map with so many targets. There's actually not that many disguises to be had, so we don't really have all that much to go over, but let's go ahead and give it a shot and start it up anyway. So here we go. On to the starting locations. Let's do this. So Colorado starting locations are back to being kind of limited. Paris had the same issue. About half of the starting locations in Colorado are pretty much obsolete. The most common starting location, and the best one by far, is Westbridge Start. Yes, it is a suit start, but the amount of stuff that it allows you to do and the amount of advantage it gives you right off the bat, especially with the added bonus that you get to bring extra equipment with you since you are starting in your suit, it just makes every other starting location obsolete. Water Tower is a viable starting location, but you won't see it nearly as often. I'd say probably the second most viable starting spot would be Hacker. You are going to come across Hacker now and again. It really depends on the spin. Occasionally, but very rarely, you will see Militia Soldier starts from some players. Not very often, but those are the 4. By far, we're looking at Westbridge and Hacker, and then a huge gap, and then maybe Water Tower and Militia Soldier every now and again, and then beyond that, you probably will never see any other starting locations. So it's too bad, but that's just the way it is. As far as the target isolations go, starting off with Etzer Bag, if you were to start, we'll say Westbridge, you're going to head in past this gate here, you're going to open this up with a crowbar or a powerful gun, as long as you don't get spotted shooting it. You're going to take out this elite soldier here, and then you're going to dump his body over the railing, take out the cameras, and switch disguises if you want to. You don't have to for this situation, though. Once you open this door with your crowbar, you're going to make a distraction shot. The elite soldier at the very end is going to go investigate the shot, whereas the second elite soldier that's in the room closest to you will not even hear the thing. So you should be fine here. Just KO the elite soldier right in front of you with your crowbar or whatever throwing object you have. Knock out Etzer right there, and then knock out the elite soldier investigating the shot. Now from here, you're free to go upstairs and knock out Penelope when the coast is clear. It's literally that simple. Just take your melee item, knock her out as soon as no one's around. Be sure to use your instinct often for this, and drag her body down and place her on the stairs here. She will never be found as long as you don't make any noise. That potentially leads other NPCs into the vicinity. This is probably the most common setup. You will see this for 90% of spins. It works like a charm, and if it ain't broke, you know what they say. There's an alternative isolation for both these targets by using a Seeker if you want. Once Penelope is standing in front of the box directly above Etzer when she goes and says her little line of, it was a precaution, nothing more, and then walks away, when she's standing in front of that area, when she's in that position, you can Seeker Etzer, get him sick, immediately go up and Seeker Penelope, and they will go off and be sick in their own little spots. Etzer will go all the way outside, and Penelope will stay in the house. Make sure there are no bodies around, so Etzer's not going to spot any bodies, so you're going to have to position the elite soldier that you KO'd earlier just properly so you can bring his body into the box before Etzer Bag gets upstairs. But once he's in the box and Etzer Bag is puking and Penelope's in the house puking, you're good to go. You can either choose to knock them out here, or you can go off and get disguises that you may need and get live kills on these targets if you need them. It's a very viable strat in case you need an alternative to the standard. For Maya, she requires a chain lure. There really is no other isolation required for Maya. This isolation that I'm showcasing here with this chain lure is the most important thing that you need to know as far as Maya Pavarti is concerned. Every single kill you'll need to do on Maya, no matter what the spin is going to require this chain lure. The exception obviously being consumed poison or electrocution or fire, but regardless, those are small exceptions, and the majority of the rest of them are going to require this chain lure. Step one is you're going to shoot this generator here from where you're standing in this position. That's going to distract the tech that's right in front of you. And at that point, you're going to toss a throwing item, whatever it may be, into this little spot here, and Maya's going to come investigate it. From here, you're going to do what I'm doing on screen here with the chain lures, and you're going to bring her into this little hut. Then you can either KO her, or if you're in the right disguise and it requires a live kill, you can kill her right here, or whatever you need to do. Bear in mind that if you need to kill her with a loud ballistic, you can just chain lure her to the left of this little hut, and there's a little box right there ready to stash her body in. You can KO her right in front of that box and leave her there indefinitely. No one's going to see her. Then you can shoot her with the loud ballistic, dump her in the box, and get up before anybody even comes by. And if you need to kill her with a fall kill, the second throw that you do for the chain lure needs to be thrown on top of the roof of this hut here. She'll immediately walk around the barn and start heading up the stairs and come straight over to the roof. At that point, you can meet her halfway, knock her out, and dump her off the roof. And finally, Sean's isolations. He has a few of them, the first of which you're going to be using probably the most often. That's isolating him in this building right here. There are 2 militia technicians that are in the room with you, so you're going to need to deal with them first. But once Sean's in the room, you can take him out, make sure there are no weapons hanging around so he doesn't go get somebody else to come grab the weapon. And once he's knocked out, you can leave him here indefinitely as no other NPCs come in the room. For his next isolation, you need to start Hacker. I like to bring a Calmer with me so that I can trank the guard that's right behind him and then just choke out Sean. What I like to do here is come up from behind, but slightly to his right. That'll choke him sort of on an angle so that you're kind of choking him towards the box that's right beside you. And what this does is it makes it so you're not making any noise while choking Sean. If you were to choke him directly from behind him, you would make noise and the elite soldier from upstairs would come down and investigate and you'd pretty much be screwed. After you choke him out from the hacker's start, you drag him into this corner and bring him up to this corner really, really snug. He'll never be found. There's a roaming elite soldier upstairs you need to worry about, but he'll never be found as long as he's snug up against this corner and you're good to go. And the final ISO just requires a timestamp. Sean is going to leave the house eventually at the beginning of his cycle, and then at the end of his cycle, he's going to come back into the house around the 7-minute mark, and at that point, you can just KO him and leave him in the corner. Alright, on to the good shit. So, for the first disguise, we're going to talk about the Explosive Specialist. There are multiple Explosive Specialists on the map. They're all pretty easy to get to, but the easiest one, the one that everybody goes for every single time, the one that's really the most viable and the only one you should ever get, is gotten pretty easily with this radio lure. Pretty much anywhere in his cycle, you walk up to this radio here in the explosives field. Keep in mind you'll be trespassing in any disguise here unless you're wearing the Explosive Specialist outfit. Trigger the radio, and once you do, turn it back off. The Explosive Specialist guy is going to come check it out, and when he does, you just KO him and stuff him in the box right behind you. Take his disguise, and that's all there is to it. Easy peasy. For the Hacker, if you're not going to start Hacker, which again is an extremely viable starting spot, and I recommend it about 30% of the time. The easiest hacker that I can recommend is, as long as nobody is on these stairs, like Penelope, for example, if you've isolated her and KO'd her and brought her down the stairs, you might want to move her body before trying this strat out, but you can just throw an item right here on the stairs, and as long as there's no elite soldier in the vicinity, which there shouldn't be most of the time, the hacker that's in the next room is going to come investigate this. As soon as he does, knock him out with a throwing item and leave him on the stairs, take his clothes, and away you go. Pretty easy hacker disguise. Militia Cook is a unique disguise. There's only one on the map. There's a militia soldier over here in this area where the kitchen quote-unquote is. He comes and goes and takes a piss, so make sure that he's not in the vicinity when you go and do this lure. But you're going to need to throw an item right here and lure the cook over. What I like to do is drop a gun in front of the box so that once you do this lure, he's going to come around the corner, he's going to see the gun, and he's going to just move over to the box automatically. At that point, you can knock him out right in front of the box. Just keep in mind that you have to watch out for the guys that are off to the side there. The two militia soldiers that are cooking along with the cook, they need to be facing each other, cooking at the exact same table. If they are, you're free to go and take out the cook anytime you need. If they're not, if one is off doing his own thing, then you need to wait, because you can't knock the cook out here or you will be spotted. Take the cook's disguise after you dump him in the box and you're good to go. Militia Elite is probably the best disguise on the map and extremely easy to obtain. From Westbridge start As soon as you open the gate with your crowbar, there's a Militia Elite guy standing right in front of you. You just knock him out, and you can just choose to either dump him over the railing, dump him in the box, hide him in a bush nearby, whatever you want to fucking do. It doesn't matter. Take his disguise, and it's good to go. That's the easiest one to get on the map, unless you want to go for the free disguise here in this truck, which you can attain at any time you want. Just make sure you're crouching before you get this disguise. If you're standing up and you try to get the disguise, you will definitely get ripped. Militia Spec Ops is a pretty easy one. There are multiple Spec Ops guys on the map, but the best one to get is in the Fruit King hut hanging out with the Point Man. Go inside the Fruit King hut and go into the bathroom. Throw an object here as long as the bathroom door is open. And 9 times out of 10, the Point Man's going to go tell the Spec Ops guy to check it out. Once he's in the bathroom, you can KO him in there and take his clothes and get the fuck out. He's never going to be found, so you're fine. Militia Soldier is a bit more lenient because you have multiple NPCs to choose from that are all viable. The best one is probably the one that goes to piss right where you knock out the cook. He comes and goes, so it's good to deal with him anyways, especially if you need the cook disguise. Most of the time, you're going to be knocking this guy out as it is. So take him out, same way that you would the cook, and you're free to go. The other one is standing right outside the Fruit King hut to its left if you're facing the entrance of the hut going into where the Point Man and the Spec Ops guys are. This guy is pretty much out in the open, but there are no NPCs around that are going to see you KO him if you knock him out from behind. There are roaming guys right behind the fence that can catch you, but just keep an eye on your instinct, and if they're nowhere nearby, you're free to KO him at any time, drag his body in here inside the Fruit King hut, and take his outfit. And the last guy requires a trank, but is definitely viable. He's in the greenhouse where you would go to poison Penelope's drink. You can trank him pretty much at any time, take his outfit, and you're free. You are going to need a trank for this guy, though, because his body does get found almost immediately after you trank him. Militia Technician is easy peasy, because you can either choose to get the free disguise that's in the Fruit King hut with the Spec Ops guy and the Point Man, or you can get one of these two guys hanging out in that room that we initially isolated Sean in. You're going to have to take these guys out if you want to isolate Sean in here anyways, so they're very viable ones to choose from. Really, this one's up to you, but honestly, I'd go for the free one most of the time anyways. The Point Man is a unique disguise, and we've already talked about him multiple times, but haven't discussed how to get him yet. You get him the exact same way you would the Spec Ops guy. If the Spec Ops guy is already KO'd in the bathroom, for example, you can just knock out the Point Man anytime you want and leave him here. You don't have to hide his body in a closet or anything, but there is a closet there just in case you want to hide him. The only time you really do need to hide him is if you left a gun by the cook, where that Militia Soldier and the cook is, where you knocked them out right in front of the box. If a Militia Soldier wanders by, sees the gun on the ground, and picks it up, he'll wander into the Fruit King hut and drop off the gun. They're going to be the ones that spot any bodies that you leave around, so just be aware of that. As long as you pick up all the weapons that you drop off by that box over there, you shouldn't have any problems with not hiding the bodies. And finally, the Scarecrow. Scarecrow is pretty awesome. He's just chilling right by the house. You can see him clear as day if you use instinct. There's really nothing to it. You walk right up to him, you wait until the coast is clear, you get in the disguise, and then you drop down when the coast is clear. It's that simple. Just make sure that you don't get spotted by anybody wearing this disguise, because it's completely hostile. It's just slightly better than the suit, as you can sort of kind of hide in this disguise if you are so inclined to do so, even though there's no reason to. It's a terrible disguise that looks kind of cool. So, that's all there is to it. Alright, and that's it for the disguises. Like I said, not too many disguises in this map, but still a lot of fun to find them all. So, now that we're finished the disguises and the target isolations and all that, we're going to move on to our traditional demonstration spin. Colorado spins are always fairly tricky, regardless of what the spin may be, because no matter what, you still have to isolate 4 targets. And the time crunch is definitely a factor. So, let's see what we get for our demonstration spin. Here we go. Alright, so we got a pretty interesting spin on this one. That's pretty awesome. We got Sean Rose must be killed with a falling object dressed as the militia cook. We got Penelope Graves must be eliminated with a screwdriver dressed as the Scarecrow. That's always fun. Good shit. We got Ezra Berg must be killed with an SMG dressed as the hacker. So nice easy one for him. And then we got Maya Pavati must be killed with consumed poison dressed as the explosive specialist. So a nice interesting one, especially for the Maya and the Sean kills. Also, Scarecrow for Penelope is always fun. I'm opting to start Hacker here. I think that's the best bet. I'm bringing a lockpick, I'm bringing a crowbar, a calmer, and a silenced SMG. Shouldn't be too difficult. This is one of the spins I think Hacker is definitely most viable for. So, let's see what happens. Okay, so a hacker here is definitely, in my opinion, the better way to go for this spin, just because I feel like getting Sean isolated right off the bat here is the way to go. There's a trick to isolating Sean too, so just, you know, keep in mind that in order to strangle him here, you have to be doing it on a bit of an angle, preferably towards the box. If you just strangle him like straight on from behind there, the guard upstairs will definitely hear you. So you need to definitely do that a little, I don't know, there's some bullshit you gotta do for that stuff. So I'm lockpicking this door here. We're gonna get Etzobag dealt with here. The reason that we waited for him to walk before we open the door is because we want him to be finished his conversation with that guy behind the glass there, that Harold. We need to have him finish his conversation so that he's going to walk away or start walking away. Then we can trank him from behind and knock out these two fucks with the baseball bat or the baseball ball, whatever the fuck. I like to use the trank for Etzobag. It's just a nice, easy approach. A lot of people have different approaches for that one, but that's just the way that I like to do it. So Penelope's finished her sentence here. It was a precaution, nothing more. As soon as she says that shit, you know she's about to walk off and get outside. So I'm going to KO her right here. I'm going to spam hold that circle button and get her the hell down the stairs ASAP as possible, because there's this fucking bitch hacker right there behind me there. He comes through the door almost at that exact moment when I'm dragging her down the stairs. So it's a pretty tricky and pretty tight isolation, but it's definitely doable. Just takes a little bit of practice. So there's the first kill we got. SMG on Etzobag. Of course, if it says SMG, so you have your pick of the litter. It can be loud or silenced. It's up to you. I prefer silence for this method. So I'm shooting at the camera there. I know that the elite guard is going to be standing in that position there he is, that he is right there, so he's not going to hear the gunshots. And the hacker that wanders around, as we just saw, is in the house. So I was free to shoot that camera out with no issues. So now we got the first kill down, like I said, with Etzobag, but we also need to set that kill up with Maya Pavati. We didn't bring consumed poison, but Etzer has consumed poison on him, so we picked that up. And we're going to use that to poison Maya's drink in the barn. So I'm doing this throwing distraction. It doesn't matter which disguise we get. I just need easy access to the barn. I don't care if we get the point man or if we get the Spec Ops guy. It would have made no difference. So it's rare that the point man actually goes to investigate the throw there, but due to how they were in their cycles right there, he must have been closer to the throw. So weird. Usually it's the Spec Ops guy. But we're heading on into the barn now. There's Maya. She's going to be entering in about a minute or so, a minute and a bit. And here's her drink. So I just needed easy access to the barn. That's the only reason I got this disguise. Just makes things a lot easier and a lot quicker. She doesn't drink until around 5:25-ish. And she doesn't die until like 5:30-ish. So we've got all day still. All I need to do now is get the fucking explosive specialist disguise. So, like I already showed you earlier in the video, doing the radio lure for the explosive specialist, pretty easy lure, always safe, always guaranteed to work. And it's convenient because there's this box right here. So, wait for this prick to come by. So because the consumed poison is considered a trap kill, if you will, quote-unquote trap kill, you know, it's not necessarily a trap. We're not really setting up a trap in a sense. I guess technically we are, but whatever. Anyways, you get the point. The deal is with trap kills of all sorts, electrocution, fire, consumed poison, whatever the hell it is, as long as the kill is done while you're wearing the disguise that needs to be worn for that kill to take place, it doesn't matter what disguise you wear to set the kill up. So I set the kill up in the point man outfit, but I'm in explosive specialist, and I'm going to remain in this outfit as the kill takes place. So that's important to remember for everybody who wasn't aware. So we just knocked out Piss Boy, this fucking militia soldier who likes to take a piss over here every, like, I don't know, he has a nervous bladder. Poor guy probably has prostate cancer or something. Sucks ass. But he's knocked out now. And now we're going to deal with the cook, because we need the cook for Shawnee Boy. So we left the gun on the ground. Again, showcased earlier in the video, you know how to get the cook now. And we're not going to take the outfit just yet. We can't really afford to do that at the moment, just because we have to wait for Maya. She's almost dead. She should be dead any second now. And there we go. Now, with kills like that, specifically poison, they take a couple extra seconds to kick in usually. So always remember to see the kill confirmation pop up on the screen before you take a new disguise, okay? If you swap disguises too early, then that'll be rendered invalid. Like, say you were to swap disguises into the cook, as soon as you saw the picture-on-picture screen there of her taking the drink, then the kill would have been done in the cook disguise, which would have made the kill illegal, and then you would have had to restart. So I waited till she was dead, waited till the notifications popped up on the screen, and then I switched to the cook. So now we're heading back into the house. We're going to get our kill on Sean. We're just dragging his body over here. You need to be careful of the wandering elite soldier upstairs, but he's not in the area, so we should be good. There's the Sean falling object kill. Now, because I'm dressed in an illegal disguise to be in the house in the house, I'm setting up. I'm trying to panic that hacker there, and I did. It took way too many fucking shots for some reason, but I panicked the hacker. He's out of the way. We shouldn't have any more issues because the shots didn't come from downstairs, so nobody should be coming down here. But I'm dragging what's her name, Penelope, a little further over in the corner just in case. This elite soldier could pose a problem, so I'm going to deal with him real quick, especially since the final kill needs to be done in the worst outfit in the map, with that being Scarecrow. I want this guy to just be out of my way. And it's a free disguise to take to exit the map, too, so why the hell not? Why wouldn't you knock him out? Corners to do this guy, lure him over with a peekaboo, and dump him in the box. Now we're going to get the Scarecrow. Pretty easy disguise swap, just make sure the coast is clear, which it is, and you're good to go. So we grabbed a screwdriver earlier. Don't know if you guys saw that, but we grabbed it from the tech guy. Right by the tech guy that talks to Maya. So we got that screwdriver. Throw it in Penelope's head, and away we go. That's it. Pretty damn easy spin, considering how tricky it looked on paper, but once you sort everything out and you understand a good starting spot, it should be alright. Avoid this camera here. I almost got spotted there, but we're fine. Usually we shoot the cameras out, but didn't need to for this one, so that's good. And there we go. Here's a confirmation. 5 stars, Silent Assassin. Almost a sub-8 spin. It would have been sub-8, but probably took too long getting that disguise and had to circle around the camera there. But probably would have been sub-8 if I had a little bit, if I was a little more diligent with my shit. So, good shit. And that about wraps it up for Colorado. Total blast of a map. Easily one of the better maps in Season 1. I have a hard time picking between this one, Bangkok, and Sapienza for my favorite, but if I had to choose, I think Sapienza is definitely my favorite map all around as far as Season 1 is concerned. Bangkok I enjoy the most when it comes to roulettes, and Colorado is kind of a mix of the two. I mean, it's one of the big 5 maps. I love those types of maps, so I have a blast with Colorado pretty much any time. It's in its own little category with the rest of the big 5. So, just a total blast. Love this map. Although that being said, I do have to say it's probably my least favorite of the big 5 maps. Regardless, still a great time. I hope my tutorial helped you guys out. Hope you guys learned something. And Colorado is definitely one of the harder maps in the game. So, it's going to take a lot more practice on pretty much everything, and I don't just mean the stuff I'm showing you here. There are a lot of moving parts to this map, literally, especially when it comes to the NPCs, that you really have to keep an eye out for. So, just stay diligent, keep your eyes peeled the entire time you're playing this map, because you can get ripped at any second doing anything. And you should have a blast. So, Good luck in the future with your future Colorado spins. Really looking forward to the next video. We're going to be diving into Hokkaido, and there's going to be a lot of stuff to cover on that one, so that's going to be a good time. Until then, keep rocking out and keep gaming.